Ben, how are you?
How are you?
I am lovely, thank you very much.
Must be very warm.
Bit warm, yes, a bit warm. But we'll just try and be still and calm and relaxed and not get too sweaty. Yeah, and then it'll be fine. So Ben, tell us a bit about who you are and what you do.
So I'm Ben Miller. A lot of people probably know me from LinkedIn. I usually waffle every morning at 8 o'clock. Haven't for the last couple of months. Been taking a break from LinkedIn in terms of doing regular posts. I'm currently a care consultant for Cornerstone Care. I haven't revealed that yet, so that's breaking news, I suppose. So currently just doing some consultancy work for them in a care home in Swansea in Wales. And it's going well so far. I've been there for 2 months. Nice to have a bit of a break from care home management, because I've been doing care home management for nearly 10 years now. And I went from a home that I was with for 17 years, 8 years as manager, doing some turnaround and interim work. I was getting quite burned out, and so just kind of taking a bit of a change and gone on to consultancy at the moment, and it's going really well. I've absolutely loved it.
I mean, I guess, as you know, care home management is a heady existence, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, and it was the on-call, the team building. When I was doing interim management, which I really enjoyed, but I really enjoy building teams and getting to know people. And it's hard to do that when you're only in a home for 2 to 3 months at a time. This is kind of, I guess, a transition for me. I wanted to go into consultancy when I left my first management job, but there were a variety of things. I kept getting told I didn't have the experience. I've done it in one home, but could I do it in several homes? So I'd like to think that going into doing turnaround projects for the last year has helped with that.
I mean, if you've been a manager of a home for 17 years, I'm not sure how much more experience you could really have.
No, I've been at home for 17 years, not manager. Okay, I'm not that old. But this is it. And 2 outstandings, 15 awards, variety of podcasts, and team members doing loads of talks and things. Apparently I didn't have enough experience, which I get to a point, I kept getting told, but you haven't managed big homes, you haven't managed smaller homes, you haven't done any regional work. But care is care at the end of the day.
Ultimately, the principles are the same, right?
I'd like to think so, yeah. It's like when you go to these talks about how to improve your CQC rating and stuff like that. And whilst, I get the principles, I said good care is good care wherever you go. And so long as you're championing the people you provide care for and the people you're supporting, then that's all you need to do, really. And, being able to go into working as a consultant, it's been really good to support managers support their teams, which is kind of the next step I wanted to take. I wanted to be able to support people to build cultures. I've been in one home for 2 months now, 8 weeks. It's been really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Working as a consultant for a consultancy company as well. It's been great. My manager, Lucy, hugely supportive. And the whole team's great, really inclusive. And I found a place that hopefully, I'm not jinxing this, that I'm kind of call home for a couple of years, maybe even longer, who knows.
So I feel like we've got to know each other through this sort of journey of these short 10-minute interviews where we often talk about quite deep, meaningful things, and well-being is something we typically talk about. So, last time we talked, you were in a place, you were in a different place before that. What's your place now? And how are you and how are you doing? And are you happy to talk about your journey a bit more? Yeah, we
did. We talked about well-being last time. The time before that, like you said, I came on and smiled and acted like everything was really good. I was, for me, overweight and struggling. In fact, it was almost a year ago. It was a year ago yesterday that I left that job that I've been manager for 8-9 years in. So I was going through a really tough time. But, you've got to smile, as a bloke, you've got to smile, put a brave face on things. So then when I came back in October in Birmingham and spoke to you, I lost 2 and a bit stone. I've managed to keep it off, which I'm really happy with. And I'm still running. I'm still, it's the 30th of April today. So I've just done, it's not a big challenge, but I set myself the target of every single day in April, I had to do a minimum of 30 minutes exercise outside, walking, running, whatever. And I've achieved that, which I'm really happy with.
Oh, congratulations,
Yeah, no, I'm well happy.
It's not easy, right?
No, it's not.
It really isn't. To find that time, you've got family as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got 3 kids. And also, at the moment where I'm working an hour and 20 minutes away from home as well. So there's a lot of driving involved. Yeah. So to get up early and do those walks, I got up early to come to here and I did that. And then
So
emotionally,
I think you should, actively give yourself a pat on the back, because the majority of people can't achieve that. I'm not capable at this point in my life of doing that. And it's something I would like to do. I'm trying to build movement into my existence, and it's really difficult. It's really difficult because actually, when I'm in the mood, I've got stuff to do, and I don't have time. There's time, right? But it's
life
actually
gets in the way.
matching up the time and energy, I think, is the difficult bit.
Yeah, it was a challenge, and this is why I set myself the target of doing it every day. So I looked at March, and I think I'd kind of been active for 25 days out of the month. So I just thought, well, I could do it. And there were days, mainly Saturdays or Sundays, where I'd get up and I wouldn't do a lot. Sunday's my rest day. That's when I go to football. I don't play, I coach, so I'm just on the sidelines, and then I come home and watch Super Sunday and chill out on the sofa all day. So it was making that active, conscious effort to, normally I'm stationary or not doing a lot on this day, so I need to make an effort to get up early and just go for a walk, get out of the way maybe. And it's helped emotionally to put me in a much better place as well. And I think that being able to just keep the weight off has also helped, because there was a point in time earlier on this year where I finished some interim work and I was looking for a new role. I got a new role, but it didn't work out right from the outset. It was one of those, it wasn't probably ever going to work, but I wanted the role, so they wanted me, so we went, we'll give it a go. After a week, we were both like, unfortunately, and that was mainly travelling, that was just a lot of distance. So we decided to cut ties with that. So then I found myself in a position where for about 2.5 weeks I was unemployed, and I was there just kind of like, well, this is crazy. I've got all this experience, as a manager, all this success, I've got all these qualifications, and I had all these recruiters contacting me, and one of them said to me, this is going to be so easy to find you a job. And I never heard from him again. And I was just there like, I felt unemployable. And then luckily through LinkedIn, somebody contacted me. Well, Lucy contacted me and said, might have a job for you. And the rest is history. And I'm so grateful for her for that opportunity, which just goes to show that posting regularly on LinkedIn, even if it is waffle, can get you somewhere. And that was really good of her to take that chance on me, because I'd never worked as a consultant before, and we're doing really well. But being able to keep my physical health to a certain standard really helped me in that time, because it would have been easy to just get miserable. I was at home all the day, bacon sandwiches, takeaways, chocolate, all that sort of thing. But I kept myself busy when I wasn't job searching. I was walking and just trying to keep myself active, and that really helped.
Going back to Birmingham last year, which was like October last year, right?
October,
I was
November.
not in a very good place mentally then, and you do the thing you kind of have to, right? And I advocate the idea that sometimes putting the brave face on can be helpful, right? They can, within reason. And I've been having therapy and working on my mental health, and I'm now sort of getting to the point where I've sort of worked through some of those demons, and now I'm trying to work on the physical side of my health, because recognizing there is a real, true intrinsic link between all of it. Just something like going for a half an hour long walk is good for both your mental and physical health. So I think it's really important that you build that in. Is that why you're doing the sort of physical health for the...
Yeah, it is. I think I've always been one of those managers. We might have talked about this in one of our previous talks, where for care home managers especially, people will come to you all the time. You've got to be a counsellor or a therapist as well as a manager now. You can't say to people, suck it up, or, oh, that's a shame, get back to work. You've got to support people. And I wanted to practice what I preach almost, because it's all very well saying things like go to the doctor, go and get therapy, have a massage, go for a walk, all of those sorts of things. But if you're not doing them, then you shouldn't be, in my opinion, telling people what to do. So it's one of those things where I want to be able to demonstrate to people what I can do, and it's working for me. And there's a rumour, my colleague who's with me, Laura, today, she knows more about this than me, but apparently from my post on LinkedIn where I'm documenting about some of the running that I'm doing and walking, there is a WhatsApp group for managers called the Active Managers or something like that, where their aim is to walk/run 5K based on my LinkedIn experiences, where I was saying that I was going for runs and walks and things like that. I haven't heard much about it since, but if that is the case, fair play to them for doing that. Because that's the sort of thing that we should be championing for our managers and for our leaders, because I said, life gets in the way a lot of the time, and you go home and you've got to adult, haven't you? You've either got to carry on the work that you haven't done at work, or you've got to wash up, take the kids somewhere, do this. The next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock and you haven't eaten yet, and you've got to sit down and the Arsenal game's on or something like that, and you've got to do stuff. So it's just a case of organising that time. I get up at 5:05 every morning so that I can be at the house for a walk 2.5 miles by 5:30, and then it's done for the day then for me. But then I concentrate on things. I concentrate on work. I normally do 11,000 steps in a day. That's my target. Saturday and Sunday I go for a run, 5k. I don't want to run more than that. I hate running. I despise it, but it keeps me fit and keeps me active. And then I'll go for a run one evening as well. Sometimes now I've started doing, and that's it for me. I'm not doing anything major. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not doing weights at home or anything like that. It's just really simple stuff that people can do, but you've got to allocate that time to do it, in my experience.
Have you got one piece of advice for a manager who's maybe working with a team member who's going through something difficult? Yeah, what's a piece of advice for someone in that position?
Listen to them. There's a really good book by Michael Bungay Stanier, I think his name is, called The Advice Trap. He just basically talks about why giving advice doesn't work. And let's be fair, it's easy for me to say, you're struggling, go for a walk every day. I know the benefits, you probably know the benefits, but me telling you to do that or giving you advice probably isn't going to make you change your habits. Whereas listening to them, letting them talk about it, and then helping them find their own solutions. What do you think you can do about it? Is there anything you can do? How can I help you? You've just told me this information. How can I help you with that? And like I said, helping them find their own solutions almost without telling them what to do, because the answer is normally flipping obvious and you feel like you shouldn't have to hit them over the head with it. But sometimes they need to find their own way in life. I said, it's all very well saying, go to see a therapist, see your GP, get a massage. People don't want to do it.
And they probably know the answers already, but there's something else standing in the way. And that's really interesting. I might check that book out. Was it The Advice Trap?
It's called The Advice Trap by Michael Bungay Stanier. He's got two. He's also got The Coaching Habit as well. They're very similar books, but they're not very long books either. But he looks at why giving advice doesn't work, basically, which is really good.
I totally get that. You can see that in like all relationships, right? That actually. Sometimes just listen. You might think you know the answer, but maybe you don't. Maybe the solution you have in your head isn't what they need to hear at that moment in time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, lovely. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks for coming in. It's been nice to see you again, and glad you are doing well.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks, Lucy Corner, for taking a chance on me. It's been great working with you so far.